That's not bad. Not bad. Oh, all right. Time to be serious. We're going to have nothing on the TV so we don't get distracted this time because it is all about your pitch.
Yep.
We should have a picture of just you going, oh, I'm giving 2 thumbs up. So, but how are you doing, Tim?
Doing all right.
And anything new? Anything crazy?
No.
No. Well, it's pretty crazy up in my room right now because it's covered in balloons. It's covered in balloons. And why is it covered in balloons, Tim?
Well, it was your birthday on Saturday, and we decided
What?
we were going to surprise you. You gave us a key to your apartment, so we kind of had to.
I gave him a key so that if I lock myself out, because again, we're neighbors, if I lock myself out, I could get back in. Because let me tell you, sometimes it happens. So it was a wonderful surprise, and I really appreciate it. Got a bunch of balloons all over my apartment. And they have movie quotes like "Welcome to Jumanji" and "I volunteer as tribute." Language. Look at me. I'm the captain now. Like so many. So like, how many balloons did you say? 91.
91.
91 balloons.
I guess it would be 90 because we did pop one.
I was about to ask. I'm like,
one popped.
dang.
And we were filling it, but the little machine we used to fill it got too hot. And so it spit hot air into the balloon, and that popped it.
Oh, there's your little air compressor. That's cool. Did you guys try to blow up a few by yourselves, and you're like, okay, I'm done?
Well, after 15 minutes of inflating with the machine, we gave it a 5-minute break, and in that 5-minute break, we were using our lungs,
Okay.
old-fashioned way.
Okay. Well, it was still good. Yeah, that was on Saturday. It's Tuesday. They're still around my apartment, and
They're still pretty big too.
They are, yeah. I don't know. I don't have the heart to pop them. I know I should. I just walk in and I'm like, "It's a party!" So I know I should. Yeah, Balloon Central. All right, Tim. Well, we decided that you are leading again because last week was nuts, and I didn't have time to prep. So we're just gonna have you do it, and I might do just 2 episodes in a row, or we'll just go from there. Maybe I'll just do a big part 1 and 2. I don't know. We'll see. Unless y'all like Tim's voice more, then we'll just turn this into the Tim talking, I comment. So, because I like that. I like it. Oh. Well, all right.
It's a lot of homework though.
I know. I was never good at homework. That's probably why I'm like, Tim.
This one in particular is a lot of extra homework because this is
It's yours.
Star Wars, and I am essentially
Did you see
writing
what
my
shirt I was wearing?
own. I did. Did you see what shirt I was wearing?
What are you wearing?
It's not Star Wars, but it's
Oh my
third
gosh. Where did you get that?
Comic-Con.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
I need that shirt.
It's strength before weakness. It's
I would
the third
do-
ideal of the Radiance.
Journey before destination.
That's the first ideal.
Yeah.
I wanted that one. They were out.
Oh, they're out.
They were out by the time I'd gotten to it.
What? Right, I know this is, and for anyone listening who is a big Brandon Sanderson fan, they'll appreciate this random tangent. But which order would you belong to?
Well, the Windrunners, of course.
Really?
I want to fly, dude.
So that the promise of I will protect those who cannot protect themselves, and okay, I think listening to the ideals, I would probably be a I can't remember them. Line runner. Not line runner. What lift is?
Oh, an edge dance. No.
Edge dancer. No.
Yeah, edge dancer.
Edge dancer. Because the quote, "It will I remember those who are forgotten."
Yeah.
So I was like, it's probably me. So very, very biblical, a lot of his stuff. But we won't get into that. Maybe someday we'll talk a big Brandon thing about hopefully what we'll see in his books.
Yeah.
We'll do a Sanderson day and be like, this is what I want to see. So
I can't wait for Stormlight 5. I can't wait.
I can't. Dude, is it really gonna be 2025?
2024, I think.
24.
I think
Okay, I swear you said 25, and I was like, Tim, I've never wanted to slap you before, but that day I was like, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Stormlight 5. Oh. Okay. Knights of Wind and Truth.
That's what it's
That's
called?
the title. November 2024.
Oh. I always hope
That's actually, I really,
that's doable. That's doable.
I really like that name though.
Knights of Wind and Order.
Knights of Wind and Truth.
Truth.
That's a fun name. That sounds.
Okay, because this last
that sounds
book
like
was
it's
a
going to be
setup one.
focused on the Windrunners and the Truth Watchers.
Which ones are the Truth? No,
We're not.
We're
With
oh.
Uh huh.
Look at that one's. Oh.
Oh. Uh huh.
Okay. Again, well, we'll definitely
We can get to that.
You know what? We have a year and 4 months before that comes out. So we'll definitely have to do a Brandon Sanderson day. We'll have to talk about what we want to see. We'll do that in other book series too, and other movies.
I agree. I would like that.
I was talking to Tim about we do sequels. We'd pitch for sequels for movies that didn't have sequels. So Big Hero 6, and I know there was a Disney show for Big Hero 6, but before that show came out, I was already thinking about how that would go. So we'll probably do something like that someday. But for now, we've tangented, gone enough tangents. Tangened. It's like Pangea. Tangia.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, Tim, take it away.
All right. This is the episode you're waiting for. This is gonna be part 2 of my Star Wars Episode 7 pitch.
Dun, 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 dun.
And before I get into it, I have to apologize for a couple things. The big one I have to apologize for is all of last episode I pronounced a word wrong several times, and after listening to it again, listening to the episode and catching it, it made me cringe a little bit. It's not a holocron, it's a holocron. And I'm sorry to everybody who is yelling at me for pronouncing it wrong. I know it's holocron. I will try my best to call it a holocron this episode. The other thing that I have to preface is last episode I said that it's only 10 years, that my take is only 10 years after the fall of the Empire. And toward the end of the episode, we do bring that back up. But I want to reiterate again that I have changed my mind, as I'm prone to do. And I've decided that this is going to be 20 years later, not 10 years. That way, a little bit more timing can work out a little bit better, you know, as well as I think just being able to fit in a couple characters the way that I want them to be put in. For example, Adam Driver playing Ben Solo. I really like Adam Driver, and I want him to play Ben Solo, but kind of hard for that to happen when my Ben Solo is 10 years old. So I have decided that I'm going to have Ben Solo be 19 and Rey is going to be 18. Or 19, somewhere in there. They're going to be around the same age. And that way Daisy Ridley can still play Rey. And it would be perfect because, spoiler alert, in my version of episode 8, if we ever get to those, it's going to be a few years after this one. Just the way that things are going to turn out here. But anyway, I think that's everything. I'm not going to recap. You guys have already listened to episode 1 at this point. If you haven't, go listen to episode 1 right now. Do it. Just pause, put this episode on pause, go listen to episode 1, and then come back. I'm not gonna go back to anything I said earlier. I'm not gonna relist all of the things that happened in episode 1. But yeah, before I start, do you have any questions, Willem?
Um,
Anything
No.
about episode 1 that you want me to resolve?
no, I think I really, I'm not going to say any questions because I'm scared that it will be one of those things where the teacher starts giving the presentation and you're like, oh, I have a bunch of questions. And if you just wait and listen, all your questions will be answered. Because I think everything was covered. Nothing for me. I was really happy with everything that you had given. I was already satisfied. The idea that we get to see Luke. We get to see Luke interact with, oh my gosh, Rey. And how that Rey is a Kenobi, not a Palpatine. And I really enjoy it. And now that you've added 20 years,
Makes a little more sense.
it really does help.
It fits a bit better.
That was something that it was hard for me to get across.
Originally, I was gonna have my episode 8 be later,
Mm-hmm.
be another 10 years.
Kind of like how they did Clone Wars and Phantom Menace.
Exactly like that.
And that would have been
But-
fine.
But I think this works a bit better, especially for this version of my take, my pitch.
And because we are taking something that's already been done, so we want you guys to kind of have like a feel for it, because we're talking about these movies and all of us are going to see Adam Driver. But I will say, though, if it would have been a younger actor, I probably would have done the boy from Stranger Things, because at the time this came out,
Yeah,
he would have probably been a very good choice for Ben Solo.
for a really young Ben Solo.
really
yeah.
young Ben Solo, that would have been good.
Yeah.
The girl, all I could see was the girl I had imagined in my head when I listened to Mistborn. Just a fake character. I can't like put into. Actually, you know who I imagined kind of? I imagined the little girl who played Tony Stark's daughter.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but that wouldn't have worked because those actors and whatever. But
timing.
something like that. But yeah. So I think now that you've said that they are teenagers, or at least
Teenagers, adults. They're young adults.
so it's easy for me to put the actors where they belong.
Mhm.
I like the dynamic with Poe and Finn.
Yeah, I really like them being good friends. I like that idea.
I mean, because they are, and
Finn rescued Poe.
yeah. Were they not really friends in the? Well, I guess they were. I guess I really
I don't
haven't
know.
paid attention to the
They're
other
they're
movies.
friends. They're at least amicable towards each other.
They are. Again, this is all a big reboot. They're just Han Solo and dude from Cloud City,
And Lando.
Thank you.
Calrissian. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really like no character is like that original in this movie, and I think that's what kind of bugged me, because I'm like, I have seen all these characters already. You just made Lando a stormtrooper. That's all you did. You made him.
Which is a really cool concept.
I mean, it is a cool concept, because in another timeline, Lando probably would have been part of they probably would have taken him as a little kid, because I don't know, I never saw Solo. So I need to go watch that.
Solo's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Is it better than these three?
It's around there. It's around this one. It's about as good as 7.
Okay, so we all agree, though, that the best Star Wars movie that has come out since 2015 is Rogue One.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I still get goosebumps and kind of tear up with Darth Vader. Anyway, you asked me simply, do I have any questions? And I went off on a Willem tangent, and I apologize.
You're good. It was fun.
But no, I currently do not have any questions, because you kind of resolved a lot of my... Because I kept, like I said, I kept imagining them as the actors, but then you're like, oh, they're little kids. So that makes you feel a lot more like, okay, let's do this.
You can envision them now.
Okay.
Enter my 6 pages of bullet points.
Yay!
Which really isn't a lot, since most of my bullet points are a couple sentences.
And you
couple
did go
lines.
through a lot last episode.
I did, which, again, if this episode is shorter than last episode, great. If not, okay, doesn't matter. The very end, all I'm gonna remind you guys is the very end of last episode, or the last episode. I said that Luke is explaining about the Sith holocron, right, and that anybody who gets it is extremely dangerous, made by Emperor Palpatine, kind of as a contingency plan, in case. Well, I guess I'll get to that in a bit, because that's not too far. Luke is explaining that the Sith holocron made by Emperor Palpatine contains extremely dangerous information that could end the entire galaxy.
Dun dun dun.
And so they are going to have a conversation, and they're going to decide that the best course of action is to go retrieve the droid. Is to have split into two teams, to go one team to go retrieve the droid, and a second team to go to Coruscant to talk to the Senate, to prepare for yet another war, another possible war. Not quite war yet, but it's the beginnings of what might become a war. And they've done the whole war thing before, if you remember the Clone Wars. Right?
What?
So, anyway, so Princess Leia is going to ask where the Dreadnought is, because that's the big ship. That's their base of operations. Because if you remember last episode, I said that Starkiller Base doesn't exist. I have reasons for that, specifically because of Kyber crystals. And the Kyber crystals will become important later in episodes 8 or 9, potentially. Again, if we get to that. Finn is going to explain, since Finn was a stormtrooper, Finn is going to explain that the Dreadnought lies within the far reaches of the galaxy, right? Because that they don't want to be in the middle of the galaxy amongst all of, rebel scum kind of thing,
So is a dreadnought kind of like it's a base of operation, like a battleship?
So you remember episode 8,
Yes.
right? The massive ship that Commander Holdo went light speed into.
And that was probably the only good part of that. I still think it should have been Admiral Akbar, and he should have been like
they do that in how it should have ended.
Yes. I know, but it was funny because in the theater I was like, they should have been that guy, and then how it should have ended it, and I was like, this is and moments like that. I'm like, I need to do a podcast.
Yep. Yeah. So that's the Dreadnought. It is gargantuan. It's big enough that you could dock a full Star Destroyer.
Okay. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's big.
It's big. Not like inside, but like underneath. Right?
Oh.
Like hooks in and then they can get out. That's how I imagine it being.
Because that's that ship is the ship at the very beginning of A New Hope.
Yeah, that's a Star Destroyer.
Okay.
And then this thing is able to dock.
It's the daddy. It's the daddy.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the daddy Star Destroyer. Han is going to, or Finn is going to explain, I can get you there. I can get you inside. I was a stormtrooper. I know the layout. I can get you there. And then Han is going to pull Luke aside and say, hey, just so we know a little bit better what we're up against, could you maybe use the Force, do a Force thingy to figure out what the heck we should do, what the heck this is? for reals, because all we know is that it's dangerous. What is it? What does it do? And so Luke is going to meditate. Luke is going to step aside and say, I'm going to meditate. And he meditates, and then we are going to see in a vision, I guess, not necessarily a vision, but Luke is kind of in another plane while he's meditating. And his father, Anakin Skywalker, is going to show up as a ghost.
No.
Uh-huh. What? I'm giving you all the treats. Right? Giving it all to you right now. Anakin is going to show up as a ghost. He's going to be the old man. It's not going to be Hayden Christensen.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I like Hayden Christensen, but Luke knew Anakin as Darth Vader, as the old man who was Darth Vader and who turned back into Anakin right before he died, right?
Who would you pick?
I'm not sure.
I
don't know who I would pick as an actor to play Anakin.
Okay.
It would be an older man, and I would want him to be.
You know who I would pick?
Okay.
Okay.
Give me your take.
This might be far-reaching, but it's an actor who, one, a lot of people would a lot of the older generation would know. Two, he's actually really good friends with Mark Hamill because they are both renowned voice actors. If you don't know this about Mark Hamill, he is an amazing voice actor. He is the Joker. Sadly, with the death of Kevin Conroy. Whoa. Did I say that right? Kevin Conroy. I was right. Kevin Conroy is the voice of Batman. I know probably a lot of you out here are like, you're so stupid. I'm like, no. I just get nervous that I mess up the names. But Kelsey Grammer. Kelsey Grammer is who I would pick for older Anakin at this point, because Kelsey Grammer would, I feel like he'd be a good voice.
He kind of looks like an older Hayden Christensen too.
Mm-hmm. And he was the voice of Frasier, and he has a very good voice. And it breaks my heart because I believe he is the same age as the actor who played his father in Frasier. And it was hard for me to watch the show as a kid, but I did love Frasier, the interaction with his brothers. And he was just a good, strong voice. And I feel like he could be the Anakin to Darth Vader, voice-wise. Because we can't do James Earl Jones.
No.
I definitely, because I just feel like James Earl Jones is the perfect Darth Vader, but I don't want him to be Anakin. But no. Kelsey Grammer. And they have good interaction. They have good chemistry. If he would be on board, he would be an excellent older Anakin Skywalker to Luke. Because they are best friends in real life.
I can agree with that, actually. That sounds great. I like it.
So that's who I'm going to imagine in my head, and I'm probably going to tear up now.
Probably going to imagine the same face now. Yeah, so I guess Kelsey Grammer goes to Anakin. He's going to come talk to Luke. And we're going to see, I'm imagining, cinematically, we can see Luke move to this temporal plane, I guess, where it's just him meditating, and then it pans out a little bit through the body of a ghost. It's just you see the blue shimmer, and then you can see it, and it comes back, and you can see Anakin Skywalker's old Jedi robes on him. His black robes. And then it spins, and you see Kelsey Grammer as Anakin Skywalker. And Luke is going to look up, and he's going to say, "Father, it's been a while." And Anakin is going to say, "Yes, it has been. You have questions for me, don't you?"
Does it have to be a long time?
A while doesn't necessarily mean a long.
A while could mean months.
Could mean months. It could mean weeks.
It could be years.
It depends on how often Anakin is.
You're right.
talking
I'm
to
sorry, but the idea of Luke actually reconnecting with Anakin Skywalker because he turned to the light. I absolutely. It's kind of like the tease they did at the end of Kenobi. Spoilers. I'm not even going to say that because I feel like there are some people who haven't watched Kenobi, and you should watch Kenobi.
You really should watch Kenobi.
It wasn't perfect, but the last 2 episodes made me weep.
That was a really good way to end that series. It was a good. I loved that confrontation of those two characters.
The first instance of seeing Darth Vader
gave me shivers.
I was terrified, and that's why he's one of the top 5 villains in cinematic or storytelling.
I would say Emperor Palpatine is the number 1 villain.
Really?
Pure evil. Pure evil. Think about it this way. In canon, he had several people ready to dispose of Darth Vader and replace him in case Darth Vader, to strike fear into Darth Vader, 1, and 2, just in case Darth Vader decided to become Anakin again. Right? I'm like,
because that
Emperor
would have been a
Palpatine?
force to reckon with.
Emperor Palpatine doesn't do anything for anybody but himself. Everything he did is for himself. To gain power, to gain immortality, and to rule the galaxy. So he's number 1 on my baddies list.
Really?
Okay. Sauron's up there too.
Well, that is who I was gonna say, but
I'm also gonna say Odium is up there. We'll get to that another day. We don't have time for that.
Sorry for the tangent. Sorry, folks.
Anyway, Luke and Anakin are gonna have a conversation, and Anakin is going to ask Luke, what do you need? How can I help? And Luke is going to explain. I feel like Luke and Anakin have been talking, right? Father and son, they've been talking a lot. Especially when Luke went through Anakin's belongings in Vader's castle on Mustafar. And so Anakin would have been there and understood the holocron and all of that. And I feel like Darth Vader was close enough to the Emperor, he would have heard about some contingency plans. And this would have been one of them. Anakin is going to admit that the holocron is another key. So we have a key to get another key that's a little bit more important, because it's not just a key, as I'll tell you later. But the holocron is another key that is going to lead to a device that will open a rift, basically a black hole between the Star Wars galaxy and the outside, whatever's outside of the galaxy, which is an army of ancient cyborg creatures that have come to that will come and take over, and whoever holds the holocron at the rift controls the army.
Palpatine would have an army of cyborgs.
Yeah, he would.
Gross.
Palpatine would have an army.
And they're all like dead victims that he just mutilated, and ew.
Yeah. I mean,
oh wait, no, did he make them, or where, or these are just
these are from the outside of the galaxy.
Sorry,
so
I was imagining kind of
like General Grievous type of thing.
Yeah, General Grievous type of thing, or even like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah.
You gotta watch it. They have this kind of undead army thing at the end of the anime, and I was kind of thinking something like that. So you're saying this is something
beyond.
So Palpatine discovered it, and he was like, "Yes, I will use this against the galaxy." And you're like, "Okay."
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And essentially what they are is, if you are familiar with Star Wars Legends, if you understand a little bit outside of what we see on TV, on screen, about Star Wars, you might be familiar with the Yuzong Vong. They are a race of force-resistant creatures from outside of the galaxy that come in and take over. And in Star Wars Legends, the whole point of Palpatine creating the Death Star wasn't to strike fear into people, it was to protect the galaxy from these creatures. I'm altering that idea.
So when you say Star Wars Legends, what is that?
Star Wars Legends is just it's a compilation of...
So the Disney Plus thing.
No.
Okay.
This is a compilation of like comics and stories from outside sources. They are not canon, but they're pretty great.
I like the idea that it was... Because Palpatine would be a man who he was terrified of something worse.
Mm-hmm.
He could feel something with the Force.
He was so attuned to the Force.
Was he, like, does he technically count as being... So if you go to the dark side, are you attuned to the dark side of the Force? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So you're either on the left, which is Sith, you're in the middle, which is gray, and then you're at the far right. That sounds way too much. I did not mean that politically.
Not political.
I promise.
In a way, yes. Not in the political sense, but yes, you've got the dark side, you've got the light side, and then you've got the gray knights,
which
in
is
the
like
middle. Ahsoka. Another really good example of someone who might be kind of in the middle is Mace Windu.
That's why he was purple.
That's why he was purple. He was not afraid to utilize the darker side of the Force if it meant keeping a balance.
I don't know if it's canon, but apparently his two Padawans turned to the Sith.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That is canon. Dang.
That is canon.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
That's what you get for being I can't say that word on our clean, family friendly, but just imagine Samuel Jackson. You know what I'm going to say. Just think of that. You know what he would say about Mace Windu. You know exactly what he would say. And if you don't, bamf. There you go. All right, we're good.
Cool. But yes. So that's what the holocron is. Okay. It is a key to the rift, and it's also the key to controlling these creatures. They're not the Yuzong Vong. These are completely different. This is my version of this army. And I want these creatures to be cyborgs. I also want them to be very religious. And that'll be important later. Very later.
So, zealot cyborgs who are immune to the Force.
Not immune. Resistant.
Okay.
Resistant. A normal Force push on them would be incredibly weakened.
So it's like anti-Force?
No, they're just resistant.
Okay. I feel like if you push on something, you're going to push something. It's a push.
Yeah. Well, it's the Force. Like it's not a physical push, right? I don't know. Anyway, so that's what that is, and Anakin is going to. They're going to talk for a little bit longer than this, right? But basically the gist of the message is it's a rift. It's a key to a rift and a key to controlling these creatures. If they enter the galaxy, because the only way they can enter the galaxy is with the holocron, all is lost. The galaxy will be at war once again and will more than likely fall victim to these creatures. And then it's going to fade. And we're going to come back to Luke meditating, surrounded by his friends. And he is going to tell... He's going to create these two teams. He's going to tell Leia, Rey, and Ben, Poe, BB-8, and C-3PO, because you gotta have C-3PO, to go to Coruscant to the Senate and explain what's happening, what's going on, and explain that they've got to prepare for war. Basically, they don't have to go to war; they have to prepare for war, just in case it comes. And then Luke, Finn, Han, and Chewie are gonna go to get the holocron from Kylo Ren.
Oh, I forgot that Ben's not Kylo Ren.
Oh Ben Solo is not Kylo Ren. I gotta reiterate this. He was an Inquisitor for the Emperor, and now he's Kylo Ren, Master of the Knights of Ren. But yeah, so Luke, Finn, Han, and Chewie are gonna go with Millennium Falcon to the Dreadnought, and we're going to see them first. It's gonna be two bits, right? We're going to see Luke and his team get to the Dreadnought. They're going to infiltrate, find the droid. They're going to basically pull a trick where they're going to land on the back, use a lightsaber to cut into the ship itself and get in.
Because Kylo Ren has the...
Kylo Ren at this point, he had the droid, and now he's going to have the holocron.
Okay.
Before all of this, I should say I forgot about this. I missed this note because it's only one line. But we will see Luke kind of, oh shoot, I can feel the Force, or there's a disturbance in the Force. Kylo Ren has the holocron. We're going to pan over to Kylo Ren, and he's going to be at an old Sith temple, and he's going to grab the holocron. We're going to see him pick it up, and then pan back to Luke and his team.
Oh, we're not going to hear like Palpatine like good or like something like...
We might.
Okay.
We might.
So we still might see Palpatine. That's just maybe. Okay.
Maybe.
Sorry. Okay.
We will not see a physical Palpatine.
Okay.
Ian McDiarmid can voice Palpatine again. Awesome. He's an awesome actor. But he is not going to play Palpatine.
Okay.
But yeah, so Luke, team, infiltrate. While they're on their way to the Dreadnought, Luke is going to confront Finn. R2 is going to be in there somewhere, right? Because Luke never goes anywhere without R2. And Luke is going to confront Finn and basically say, do weird things ever happen to you that you can't explain? And Finn is going to kind of shyly be like, yeah, sometimes. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes.
I just feel like they're total room there to be like, what do you mean? I had the talk already. I don't need like something lame like that, Like, does weird things happen to you? Like, I am not 12, sir. And it's like, that's not what... Oh my gosh. So
we could have
we don't need that comedy, but that's immediately what my mind went to. Like, so do weird things happen around you? Like, like when Hagrid was talking to Harry, like, did anything ever strange happen to you? And Harry's like, what? Anyway. Okay, I like where you're going with this.
So Luke is going to ask Finn, do weird things happen around you? Finn's going to be, yeah, sometimes. Mostly kind of the Harry Potter thing, right? Mostly when I'm in danger or when my emotions are high. Sometimes things I can't explain happen. And Luke is basically going to say, well, here's the thing. You're Force sensitive. Like me, like Rey, like Leia, like all the other Jedi.
Like Ben, like all that.
You have the makings of a Jedi. And I would like to be your master. And Finn is going to kind of be like, huh? right? Because this legend, Luke Skywalker, who
Well,
killed the Emperor, who felled the Emperor, who not single-handedly, but kind of single-handedly.
they don't
ended
know.
the Empire.
The Empire's like, they walk in. Darth Vader and Luke went into that room. Only Luke came out alive, or at least on his feet.
Luke was dragging Darth Vader.
Yes, still though. And what do you think? And they're all like, "What?"
So by this point, Luke is a legend.
They probably tried to brainwash Finn though. Like he knows the name. The most.
But I think.
But I think
the whole thing with Finn is that he has been against the First Order his whole life. Being conscripted, he was kidnapped.
Yeah.
Right? Like, who kidnaps a child to teach them how to use a blaster? You know?
We're not going to answer that question about our own human history.
I know.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. And Finn is going to be like this legend Luke Skywalker who essentially single-handedly defeated the Emperor, the strongest being in the galaxy at that point, just offered to teach him how to use the Force, right?
And they're like, we've talked about, because you made this 20 years, so they're probably late teens, or Finn could be even older than that.
I want Finn to be mid-20s, right? So like,
so he's like, I'm too old for this, and
I'm thinking he was kidnapped around the same year that the Empire fell, and then these 20 years he's been there the entire way of the First Order. Like, the First Order has kind of always been
his life. Wow, I like that.
And he's hated every minute of it. And now that he gets a chance to learn how to be good from a legend, a living legend, of course he wants to, right? Like, of course, I'm gonna try and learn from Grandmaster Jedi Skywalker.
I have a thought. Okay, this is what I'm picturing in my head for this scene. Okay, instead of Luke telling him, just bear with me really quick. I'll make it real fast. They're sitting down because he's like, I need to talk to you, Stormtrooper. Like, he acts all upset. Like, before we go, I need to ask you some questions, Stormtrooper. And Finn's like, I'm not a Stormtrooper. I'm not. Sits him down. And he goes, tell me about your life. And, he starts talking, and he's like going about and how he was kidnapped, and we're hearing more about it. And he goes, and he tells about the awful things that they made him do and how he tried very hard to be against it. And he goes, but seeing you now, a Jedi Knight, some of my earliest memories before I was kidnapped were my parents talking about the Jedi Knights, the rumors, the legends of these great, and he just goes off and he kind of gets a little fanboy. He's like, but Luke Skywalker is here in front of me. And I'm scared that the Order will take it all away. And you kind of see him ball his fist and stuff starts shaking, and Luke kind of notices it and he kind of smiles, but he doesn't let him know. And then finally he kind of gets upset and screams and and he goes, and that's what I've been looking for. You, my friend, have a making of a great Jedi. Like something like that.
I like that, and I'm going to stick with your idea because that's better.
Because, I feel like just the idea of just whipping out that you're a Jedi, the Wizard Harry kind of thing. I
think your idea works
because
better.
This is supposed to be a stormtrooper, and Luke, one, can feel the Force in him. He's a strong Jedi, and I don't know. That's just what I pictured in my head. I didn't mean to.
No, I'm glad you interjected because that's a better idea than what I had. I've been reworking that particular part for quite a while.
I want us to see also how much Luke has grown Because we will go off for hours about Luke. You know what? We will dedicate an episode just so we can just I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. But what they did to Luke hurts a lot.
It does.
And the idea for me of Luke, who everyone wanted Finn to be a Jedi.
Right, like in that on Starkiller Base, when he pulls out the lightsaber to face Kylo Ren, we all thought he was a Jedi. Every single one of us in the theater was going, he's a Jedi.
No one ever was allowed to use a lightsaber. Can you think of a movie where someone who isn't a Jedi uses, and don't say the dark saber, doesn't count.
I mean, technically the dark saber is a lightsaber. Technically.
But the Mandalorians made it to fight the Jedi, so, right?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, we won't go off. We won't. Okay.
I can explain.
We will explain that later, but
no. So.
But yeah, I see what you mean. They did a tease,
and then they took it away from us.
And with
like, nope, just kidding.
And very, very little statement here. It just feels like that was a big tease to a lot of people out there to say this person is gonna be a Jedi. And it just feels like it's just really mean for writer stance. Like, I just felt like they really wanted to focus on Rey, but it's like, why couldn't we have 2 new Jedi? What they've done to Luke, what you've done with Luke already, makes me happy. This scene, though, if done right, could concrete a new Jedi into our viewing and show us the Jedi Master teacher that Luke should have been, and not some grouchy blue milk drinking fool.
Yeah.
There's my piece. Sorry for that.
No, I love it. That's great. We're gonna roll with Willem's idea because that's better than mine.
Stop.
Yeah. I actually think it might be cool if instead of Luke coming to Finn, Finn comes to Luke.
Okay.
And then Luke, I don't know, maybe Finn asks a question or two about the legendary days, you know, when he fell to the Empire.
Oh.
And then Luke asks him his story.
Okay.
You know, so we get Luke explain a little bit
So take away the mean Luke first. Being like,
I think
okay,
so.
Stormtrooper. So first being like, I want to ask.
Can I ask?
Can
like,
I ask? What was it like?
Battle of Endor.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, I like that. So Finn approaches Luke. Luke already is sensing it. Gets
then
questions out of him. Gets the emotions. We have an outburst of the Force, and Luke goes.
That what you just did is controlling the Force. You, my friend, have
the makings of a Jedi. Oh! You just see him like start tearing up.
I like it. That's
and you can have like the soundtrack. You know, I love the sound. The two suns. Two moons.
It's the Force theme.
The Force theme. And I feel like that could be playing, and this, you know, man who's probably closer to my age, you know, mid-20s, late 20s, is told, hey, you can be this. Something that he never thought. Oh, okay.
I like it.
Okay.
And then I think Luke can start maybe instructing him, pulling out the same helmet and training orb, training droid that shoots the lasers, right? That he used in episode 4. Pull those out and say, let's begin.
Instead of it being a stupid little Finn pulls it out in the middle of a fight, it drove me nuts.
It was funny. It was a fun nod to episode 4 and what we recognized it as, but at the same time, it's like, again, that felt like a tease. You know?
It was. Everything about Finn was a tease. I don't know if it's because they had they had 3 different continuity is very important, but also
as we learned in episode
1, but also you need to, and we should probably give a lot of these movies some slack because a lot of them are building off of other directors. A lot of them are building off other people's ideas. But you should learn to, there's a phrase in some parts of Africa, and the phrase is Sankofa, and it means look back on the past to protect the future. And I feel like if we twist that, take from what has been already done and use that to enhance future works.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just throw away what past people have done. Work with it. Build on it. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Sorry.
No, I agree.
It just drives me nuts of how... Ugh.
I feel like the first movie definitely made Finn seem like he was going to become a Jedi, and then they took it away. And so they did Finn dirty, and in so doing they did us dirty, and so I am cleaning it up.
Because Finn could have been an amazing Jedi, and John
absolutely.
Boyega wanted to be a Jedi.
He wanted to.
He wanted to so bad.
That's part of the
I
reason
believe he thought. Yeah, because they even took pictures of him with the lightsaber.
Uh-huh.
That man went in fully believing he was going to become a Jedi.
Yeah, and then they didn't, and he was a little upset about it.
When you make your actors, again, when your actors don't like their characters,
there's something wrong. You're doing something wrong, especially when you're revisiting an old character.
If you're playing a villain, that's different, because really there are some actors out there who are like, I would not like that character in real life, but you know what I mean. Like it was a good written villain.
Mm-hmm.
You can act.
Dolores Umbridge, for example.
Oh my god,
she hated playing Dolores Umbridge, but she did such a good job.
It was on at the gym yesterday. The 7-part one.
Yeah,
and she came on. I'm in the middle of a set, and I'm like, I'm gonna punch her so bad. So yeah. Anyway, sorry, that was a big old tangent.
No, but I like this because this means we're giving the audience what they should have had. Finn is a Jedi, right? Finn should have been a Jedi. Finn is going to be a Jedi.
This interaction to me, it doesn't exist, but it still makes me tear up.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
This Luke makes me happy. And it's only episode 7.
Yep. We'll hit episode 8 later. But yeah, so they're going to arrive at the Dreadnought after they begin training, and then we'll flip scenes to Princess Leia. And she will be entering the Senate room, and it's going to be the very familiar Senate room that we see in Clone Wars and in the prequel movies.
Okay.
Right?
The awesome Senate room.
During the era of the prequels.
Okay.
Right? Same Senate room.
Good room. I like that room.
It's a very fun setup. It's very unique, and I love it.
You're going to have E.T. in it? Just kidding.
Maybe. I mean, he's a Jedi. I don't know. We'll hit that conspiracy later. But yeah, so she's going to enter the Senate room. They're going to be having a conversation about some politics or whatever. And then we're going to kind of flip to the others that came with her sitting down in a booth without her, and she's going to be coming out on her own thing to the middle with Rey and 3PO. Just Rey and 3PO. And she is going to address the Senate and say, look, basically she's going to butter them up a little bit and then say, we got to prepare for war. And
oh my gosh, and I know she would butter them up, so it would noble Senate and like just like butter all them up.
The way that Princess Leia would do it, you know? And the Senate in response are going to basically say, thank you for your help in securing the basically the New Republic after the fall of the Emperor. Thank you for helping in his removal. But there's no war coming. This is an era of peace and rebuilding. Right? And they're not going to be very happy with the Jedi in general, because after Order 66, right, Emperor Palpatine basically made it seem like the Jedi were the bad guys. Propaganda was out there.
But she was the daughter of a
Right,
like
she
a
was.
great, powerful, like a stepdaughter, a daughter. I'm gonna say daughter.
Daughter of a very powerful and influential senator.
I
Yes.
can't remember his name right now. I'm sorry.
Bail Organa.
Thank you.
But she's a Jedi, and basically coming from another Jedi, they don't really care, right? Most of them. And so Leia's going to continue pleading, explaining that awful things are coming. She can feel it in the Force. Luke can feel it in the Force. Many of them can probably feel it just as a nagging anxiety in the back of their mind.
Random thing. Sorry, random question. Just to remind myself,
Mhm.
there were Jedi in the Senate,
No.
correct? No. So why was Yoda always listening in?
Because the Jedi were a part of the politics of Coruscant,
Okay.
but they weren't necessarily part of the Senate. They were more peacekeepers.
But they were like they had a lot of influence.
They had a
and
lot of
that was
influence.
kind of the problem.
That was kind of the problem.
Okay. Anyway,
Exactly.
Sorry.
And they don't want to repeat that, so they're not necessarily
And
letting
so-
the Jedi.
So that means we should have someone point that out. Be
Uh-huh.
like, we understand that you were the daughter of the great
Bail Organa.
Bail Organa, but you are now a Jedi, and we do not want to fall under their thumb again.
Mhm.
Something like that.
We do not want a repeat of the Old Republic.
'Cause
And
they
then I think
I look back on it now and I'm like, there was an imbalance.
there was a great imbalance, and they don't want that again. And so Leia will finish, and then afterward we'll see her leave, and some of the senators will come up to Princess Leia and say, we don't agree with all of them. What can we do to help? And then we'll pan back to Luke.
So the new order is underground, or just to remind myself and these guys, it doesn't exist in your movie.
The First Order.
The First Order.
That
sorry.
is Kylo Ren and his ship.
Okay.
Like his
So it's
ship,
a very
Dreadnought.
small.
It's very small.
So the First Order is just a.
It's basically a ragtag group. Not a ragtag group. They're big enough they could probably fill a planet.
But that's what they would call it, though. She's like the First Order, and then someone brought up the First Order is just a ragtag group of Sith-like mimickers.
Sympathizers.
Nothing more. Nothing that we need to
Uh-huh.
worry about. No war is coming. Just they don't see it as a big deal.
Yeah.
Because they don't have they have a dread. They're just like, what about the dreadnought? Nothing compared to what we have as a Senate. Like,
Mhm.
okay, they don't have the Starkiller base, which I kind of like now that they're.
Mhm.
And Kylo Ren is like, they don't take us seriously, but they will soon. Like,
Yeah.
because if they do get a hold of this army.
Yeah.
Okay. It's clicking in my head. I'm happy.
Uh-huh.
I'm happy. I like it a
So
lot.
a few of the senators are going to come and be like, we feel like we should at least listen to the Jedi again. Not let them in, but, listen to them.
Advise us.
Advise us, right? And what can we do to prepare? What can we do to help?
Because last time we didn't listen, a whole planet blew up.
Basically, yeah. And then we're gonna cut back to Luke and his group, and they're going to sneak through. They're going to find the droid. They're going to grab the droid, unhook it from the ship because it's a navigator, right? And destroy it. They're going to destroy the droid.
And
They're-
remind me, the droid just knew the spot of
For the
where
holocron.
the holocron.
Yes.
Not the holocron. I almost said it.
Actually,
Holocron.
you know what? We don't even need to worry about the droid because Kylo Ren already has
The holocron.
the holocron. So we don't need to worry about the droid. He's probably already disposed of it. No, they're gonna go looking for Kylo Ren, and they're gonna try to find the holocron.
I would like to think that oh my gosh, the droid probably just follows him around, and it's probably gonna please tell, like, make it fight or something. I don't know, but it could just be following him around and pestering him, and maybe he gets sick of it. But I feel like droids are kind of
Well, what it is, it's just the top half of the droid.
Oh, that's right.
Right? It's just the top half of the droid to be plugged in as a navigator
Okay.
to get them there. And it can fend itself off, but Kylo Ren is Kylo Ren. He's got his lightsaber.
Yeah, so after the holocron, like, the droid could have been like, "Well done, sir, you found it." And then he's like, "Thank you." And it's like, "How else can I serve it?" And then it just, like, crumples it up.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
So no worries about
droid is probably gone. Okay, so droid's either gone, annoying Kylo Ren is a weird GPS, or
Mhm.
so. But again, don't have to worry about it. Goal right now, holocron.
Yes.
Okay.
So they go and Luke splits them up. He has Finn and Chewie. He has Han stay on the ship, stay with the ship. And basically says, get ready to get us out of here. Chewie, Finn, go disrupt the engines, right? Go cause some damage, kill some stormtroopers, whatever.
Han's like, I want to go.
I got Kylo Ren.
Oh.
And Luke is gonna face Kylo Ren. They're gonna have their duel. It's gonna be epic. It's not gonna be this garbage that we see in these new movies. You know, this lightsaber fight where the lightsabers feel like they're 25 pounds and swinging around, you know, a baseball bat. It's fencing. A lightsaber. It's fencing.
It's fencing and other forms of
fencing and other forms of swordplay. Right?
These are not long swords. They're not broad swords either. They are sabers.
Mhm.
They are just fast, quick.
Yeah.
Did you ever see, sorry, we're going on a random Willem tangent. Did you ever see the fan-made video of how Obi-Wan and Darth Vader's fight should have been?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So something like that. So are you going to tease the audience with the idea, because I'm already seeing it, are you going to tease the idea that Luke might die?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot.
Okay.
It's gonna be very anxiety inducing.
Because we all know, we've seen the fourth movie, and this is very similar.
Yeah. We're gonna see several moments where, okay, Luke might die here. And nope, Luke is gonna survive. Luke is going to defeat Kylo Ren. He's gonna cut him a few times, you know, he's going to disable his lightsaber. Half of his lightsaber, he's an Inquisitor. He has several, right?
Because he was doing a General Grievous, and
yes.
he was keeping
exactly, and he can fit any of those lightsabers into the double half, right? So he still has his double. Luke is going to disable one half again, just like he did earlier, and basically Kylo Ren is going to cut something in the air, you know, the way that Luke did to distract Darth Vader, cutting the pipe that threw steam, right? Kylo Ren is basically going to do the same thing to distract Luke for a moment, and he's going to bolt.
Oh my gosh, you really should make Luke be the Mandalorian scene when Luke just goes in?
Absolutely.
He's like his dad.
Uh-huh.
He is just, and so there's a part where he's like, you know, Kylo might be sitting there and he's like teasing him, like, here, I thought the great Luke Skywalker would actually show me something. He's like banging on him, and finally Luke's like, enough, and just
Luke releases his inner Anakin, I guess.
I would say that Luke does twinge. He leads to anger a bit. I've always believed when he went into that ship in The Mandalorian, he was kind of feeding in the anger. He felt a Padawan in trouble. I
imagined it otherwise.
Oh.
I actually imagined it.
You think he's
just
gotten better?
Pure power.
Oh.
My dad explained it the best. He said that The Mandalorian is great. Talking in Dungeons and Dragons terms, right? it's your level 10 adventure, right? This is a great level 10 adventure. You've got some power, you've got some good abilities, and then Luke comes in and he is a level 20. He is your level 20. He comes in, he just absolutely wrecks everything, destroying everything, right? That's how I imagine this. And what I'm imagining is, instead of Luke leading to anger, it's more
because he's probably grown from that. It's
Luke is not he's not going to jump to anger. Instead, in this fight, yeah, he's getting beat on by Kylo Ren. We think he's gonna die. Kylo Ren is berating him with comments, the great Luke Skywalker that I thought I knew would have ended this fight already, and then Luke is probably just gonna come in, use an incredible feat of the Force, and injure Kylo Ren. And Kylo Ren's gonna be like, oh snap, I gotta get out of here. Distracts Luke and runs, pulling out the Sith holocron from his pocket, putting it back just to check to make sure he's got it, right? And
honestly, I like that you added that. Some people might think that's weird, but yet you're running away. You
gotta check to make sure that you've got what you need.
Like, he's like, presses a button, the hall's going down, elevator's going down, he just and like sees the...
I'm imagining he hits a button and bay doors shut, right? Behind him several times. And the first time I think we see the little red light and the lightsaber, Luke's green lightsaber poke through and start cutting it.
He does have green. I always forget. Anakin has blue. Luke had green. I always have to remember that.
Yes. And then just more bay doors to slow down Luke so he can get away.
Okay. I'd rather see the...
Blaster bolt. Right? He makes it to the hangar.
Okay.
Where you can see his ship, right? His interceptor. The same one we see several times throughout those movies.
Okay.
And he's running towards it. And a blaster bolt fires and hits him in the side, throwing him to the side a bit. And you hear Chewbacca, do his growl, and he runs.
I wish I could do a Chewbacca voice.
I wish I could too. But Chewbacca runs towards Kylo Ren. And before this, we'll have seen them mess with the engines and stuff. And they get back to the ship. Chewie runs towards Kylo Ren. And he's shooting at Kylo Ren, and Kylo Ren ignites his lightsaber and deflects the bolts and cuts off Chewbacca's arm.
Oh.
And just keeps running. Chewbacca's arm, you see, I want to see kind of what we saw with the Wampa, right? In episode 5, on Hoth. The big white Wampa, when Luke cuts its arm off. I want to see that, but Chewie's arm with his bowcaster.
Because someone always has to lose.
Somebody's got to lose an arm. Somebody's got to get injured. I'm not killing main characters in this episode.
Scared me.
I'm sorry. I wanted to.
You should have seen. I wish y'all would have seen my face.
His jaw was dropping.
I was getting more and more nervous because I do love Chewbacca.
I'm not killing Chewie. I can't kill Chewie. I could never kill Chewie.
But I definitely could see, because they are, what are they called? Wookiees. They are not some fluffy doormats. I really liked how
they are a warlike race of.
They're orcs.
They're basically orcs.
They're they're furry orcs.
Furry orcs. That if they like you, they like you, and if they don't like you,
your arms off. And so Chewie got his arm off.
And Chewie gets his arm cut off and is thrown aside with the Force, right? I really want to emphasize using the Force in this episode because the Force is important, right? And then we're going to hear a scream of anger from Finn, and he's going to charge Kylo Ren, and he's going to pull one of the lightsabers using the Force. He's going to pull a lightsaber off of Kylo Ren's hip. And he's going to go in and they're going to battle. they're gonna duel for a moment, and Luke is gonna come in. He's gonna check on Chewie because Chewie's right there. He's gonna make sure Chewie's okay, and then he's gonna go after Kylo Ren and Finn, and they're gonna duel for a minute, and we're gonna see Kylo Ren kind of surprised, and then he's gonna start talking to the traitor, right? I thought that you had died, you traitor. They would have killed you. Now I see it. But that's all you are, as a traitor. And you're weak, and you're untrained, and you don't know your strength. You don't know the power of the Force. And he's going to do the same move we see. He's going to do the same move that we see him do in the actual movie, where he's going to get behind Finn and he's going to cut him up the back, knocking Finn unconscious to the ground. But we saw Finn fight as a Jedi Knight. As a Jedi Padawan, not a Jedi Knight, but as a Jedi, we see him fight, and that gives us hope. I like it.
Can I change? Okay, no, I'm not going to ask. I'm going to ask for I'm going to ask for something I saw, another interjection, if I may.
Go for it.
All I see is you hear a yell. Finn is a old stormtrooper. He's going to be using a blaster. Shooting, Kylo Ren's deflecting, and he's like, oh, a traitor, I see. And he like deflects it, pulls the gun out of his hand, because he's now like, the Wookiee is calmed down. The Jedi is away. It's just a stormtrooper, a traitor. He's going to take a little bit more time. Pulls the gun away and pulls Finn in, and he throws Finn on the ground. No idea he's Force sensitive. And Finn's like, and we like have a close up, and he's like tormenting him, and now he can be like, oh, like a traitor. And then he like pauses. What is this? And Finn like, and he realizes that Kylo Ren can feel it.
I think we could hear in that moment, right? In episode 7, we hear Obi-Wan speak to Rey. Rey, these are your steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we hear that same thing for Finn, and then he does that.
Yep.
I do like your take.
I do like the idea that we don't see him pull out a lightsaber because I don't think Luke gave him a lightsaber yet, right?
No, he hasn't.
So he had to pull it out. So he probably had a blaster first, because I don't think he's gonna like, but he like sees it, and he sees, and he's right there, so it's not too far of a reach, and he pulls it, and right as he's going down, and then he can deflect it, and then he gives his little speech. And Finn tries to get up, but he can't, and he just torments him while he's on the ground deflecting. Luke maybe comes in, says Finn, and he gets up, and they like both stand up, and that's when he slashes, something like that. I don't know,
okay.
But I feel like the start with the blaster, get up close.
I like it. And that draws back to Finn's history as a stormtrooper.
I feel like he would have been a good shot
as a Jedi.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I like it.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm going for.
That's a
stormtrooper to Jedi,
uh-huh.
and even a villain could sense the Force in him at that point. Like, oh, and then that's when he's like, I should have sensed that in you, but you don't know the power. Like, I was really hoping he said, you don't know the power of the dark side. Like, you've chosen wrong. Like, I don't know. But like, you can't just do that, because that's Darth Vader saying. But you still got goosebumps saying you don't know the power of the Force. You will never know. Like, that got me goosebumps. I was like, oh. So, but yeah, I imagined the. Sorry, I don't mean to like. This is what I see, because you're only giving me this. But I see like a little few things different, because I'm just like, because I always imagined Finn and Chewie were walking around with guns, because that's probably what Finn would have been more comfortable with. And Chewie gets his arm blown off. Finn probably likes Chewie a lot at this point, boof, and he's probably a dead shot too, and he got lucky, and Kylo Ren can deflect it because he's a Jedi, but still, if he would have hesitated a little bit, Finn would have got him.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Actually, I don't think he should have yelled. He should have just been staring at the Wookiee, and then just goes, and it just goes for his head, and he flicks it away, not even looking, and looks over, and he sees Finn.
Okay. I do like the yell though. I think like
The
screaming
yell?
no.
You know who should yell? Han.
Han. Okay.
Han should yell, and he looks over at Han, and then bink, and then turns his head, and then he sees Finn.
I like that. I
Okay.
like that. That's good. That's good.
Because Han Solo, I think, would be very calm. Because Chewbacca's yelled when Han Solo died. In this universe, Chewbacca gets mortally wounded. I mean, not mortally wounded, but no, it cauterizes. Chewbacca gets his arm cut off. Han Solo's gonna freak out.
This is his best friend.
This is not a pet. This is not
This is his brother, his best friend, his
an animal that will live far longer than him. To Chewbacca, all these guys are his pets.
yeah,
He's an elf.
basically.
You know,
He really
okay,
is.
not pets, but like, you know what I mean? Like, Han Solo yelling, Finn shooting, that leads to that. That's how okay.
I agree. I like it. And
This is what I wanted in the show, by the way. This
Good,
is
good.
So when
I
next
like
time
this.
I do a pitch, I need
Okay.
I need some.
I'll try. But yeah, I think then Kylo Ren takes off and he runs and gets into his ship. Luke grabs Finn while Han grabs Chewie, and Chewie grabs his arm because he's upset about it.
We're totally. Whoa, whoa. It's okay. It's okay. We'll get you a new one. Whoa.
He still grabs the arm.
Not even grabs the crossbow. Grabs his arm.
Oh no! He grabs the bowcaster sling, puts it on his back.
Oh,
and
but he
then
probably struggles with it because it's not
Probably
his
does.
dorm. It's not his.
it would be his left hand, which he's not left hand dominant.
Oh, and he just is like, oh, and Han is like, okay, wait, let me. Oh,
Got this. Come on.
oh, that
You
breaks
know?
my heart.
And then
I would cry.
I think Kylo Ren takes off, and he's gone out. And Finn pulls out a remote, or not Finn. Luke. Sorry, Finn's unconscious. Luke pulls out a remote detonator from Finn's pocket and says, "Han, let's get out of here. Let's do this again." And then they take off, and boom, and the dreadnought starts exploding. And
When
I
did
think
they put the bombs in it?
while they were sabotaging the engines.
Okay, so that was something
Finn
that
and
we
Chewie.
as an audience didn't know.
I think we did. I
Okay.
think we see Finn and Chewie go through. They kill stormtroopers. We see them do their thing, bond a little bit. You know, in the actual movie, we see Chewie hand Han the bowcaster, and Han is like, "I like this thing." I think instead of that, I think we go to Finn doing the same thing.
Okay.
And they plant bombs, and then they say, "Let's go
Okay.
back to the ship." And then all that happens.
So rewind back, like Finn's like, "What do we do? Mess with the engines." Okay, what do you mean by that? Throws him some, and Han
hands him a
some
bag
stuff.
of
Go mess up the engines. Oh, okay. And then like Chewie just
yes, I like it.
okay.
And Kylo Ren is gone, and Luke and Han and Chewie and Finn go back to Ossus, to the Jedi Temple, and they report, and Leia comes back and reports, and Leia says, I only got a handful of senators to agree to prepare. How did you do? And Luke is going to look towards Chewie, who is getting fitted with a bionic arm, Chewie style.
C-3PO is like doing measurements. Hold still, Chewbacca. Like,
Yeah.
He's like, like, what would he call him? Master Chewie, please hold still. We're trying to measure you. R2D2.
I do think it could have been fun if there was if you remember, Chewie got shot in the actual movie, right?
Yes.
And there's the lady taking care of him, and they're having a conversation, and she says, "You must have been really brave," and she was like, "No, yeah." I think similar thing could happen, kind of fun. And Finn is in a bacta tank. Poe can be there. Like, that's my buddy. What happened?
Yeah.
And then they go, well, at this rate, all we can do is prepare. Kylo Ren got away. All we can do is prepare. And then we're going to pan to Kylo Ren on this little tiny space station where there's... I'm imagining, the portal in Gravity Falls, the triangle, the circle in the middle?
Yeah.
I'm imagining something similar, but
Bill
on
Cipher?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
With a portal.
Oh, okay.
The portal itself.
Oh, those things. Okay,
came
yeah.
out of.
Okay.
I'm imagining something similar, bigger, and a lot more
I changed my mind.
techy.
He is one of the top villains. I'm sorry.
I can agree.
Bill Cipher terrifies me.
I can agree.
A lot.
My wife and I are almost done.
I'm sorry. He makes any other villain. Like Pennywise and Bill Cipher to me. I'm just like, Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Random tangent.
But yeah, that's kind of what I imagine. An upside down triangle with a circle in the middle, lots of sparkly bits. And then we can hear Palpatine's voice say, good. Now activate the rift. Activate the portal.
Now activate the portal, young one. Like something like that.
Something
awesome.
like that.
Awesome.
And Kylo Ren is going to use the Force. He's going to open the holocron again, and it's going to sit perfectly on a pedestal into a little slot. We're going to see the portal open. It's going to shimmer. We're going to see it open, and we're going to see this fleet of ships appear. I'm imagining them very pointy, very like arrowhead shaped, very pointy ships, all different sizes and varieties.
Sleek black. That's what I'm thinking in my head.
Sleeked black, with some red.
You're almost
red
adding
heads.
like a star. Do you know what the Borg are? Okay, because look up Star Trek and look up the Borg, and you're kind of getting like look up the Borg real quick on your phone. Look up the Borg. Because what you're describing, and I don't want to be all like, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay if we had a little bit of Borg. I am Borg. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, BORG. But
You want their ships?
No, just the
Or
Borg
them.
in general.
Cyborgs.
Yeah, they're
I'm imagining something similar. Not all of them human.
okay, but the Borg are terrifying, and I feel like if you kind of introduced a Borg style thing to Star Wars universe, I don't think anyone would complain.
No.
And now that I kind of have that in my head, I'm terrified because the Borg in Star Trek. You need to watch Homework for You if you're gonna have like a Borg style villain. Star Trek Next Generation?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but it's got Sir Patrick Stewart. Awesome.
Yeah. My best friend Jonathan loves Star Trek. He and his family.
You invite Jonathan over and you have him you tell him about the Borg and you all watch that together, and I'm sure he'll give you some notes and ideas about this villain, because if you get Borg style villains that are resistance to the Force and just want to conquer, and you're telling me Kylo Ren's gonna have control over this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm terrified. The second my brain connected to them to the Borg, I got scared. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, I had nightmares about that movie as a little boy because it was that well done. Do some homework, watch it.
Okay.
For any of you any of you Trekkies out there, I hope you're not offended with Tim, because Tim, and to be fair, Tim doesn't know what the Borg is.
No idea.
And I hope that doesn't discourage you from doing it. I think it's a great idea. I think it's terrifying. And it makes me want to pee my pants. Because imagine if one of them does end up grabbing a lightsaber. Ooh! Anyway. Ooh! I'm scared. I'm scared, Tim.
Yep. We'll have to wait for episode 8 for that.
Wait, is that the end?
This is going to be the end.
It just shows the fleet?
It shows the fleet. It's going to show a familiar-ish kind of character, a four-armed cyborg. It's not General Grievous, but it's going to look very similar, with a few more humanoid parts.
Okay.
Less cyborg, more person. But he's going to show up in robes, and he's going to say, "Bearer of the key, what is thy bidding?" And then we're gonna...
You gotta have Kylo Ren do the last sign, like... I don't know, I will say the only thing I'm disappointed is no Kylo Ren, I mean, it doesn't matter because it's your own pitch, but I just at some point wanted Kylo Ren going, I will finish what... But there's nothing that Palpatine started, but just something iconic like that from Kylo Ren.
And I'm sure we'll get something iconic with that pitch. I couldn't think of anything like that.
I mean, it's fine. These are rough drafts. Mm-hmm. Maybe someday down the road, we'll do like an actual like scripts and we'll take hour and a half to actually do summaries of our movies that we've talked about. But these are just rough drafts. But so far, yeah, that's a good part too. And I think, again, after adding it 20 years, I like it, Tim. I like it a lot. And that's like a good ending. We have Finn is wounded in the tank. We have Poe standing over him watching. Chewie getting refitted. No one was untouched, but everyone has gained. We've seen, I hope that we see more of Rey.
Yeah, and we will.
Because this one started with her, mm-hmm. and ended with Finn, and I'm okay with that. As long as we can...
We'll have kind of a reversal in the next one.
Okay.
I think. And we'll also introduce Ben Solo into being an actual Jedi at that point.
Because right now we haven't seen... And that's okay. And people might be... If this would have actually been the movie, people might have been upset, we didn't see them do nothing. But right now we've just seen Ben as a quiet, reserved young Jedi who's
standing there next to his mom while she's giving a speech.
Yep. And next movie, we'll actually see her be a Jedi. So, final question, though. What color was the lightsaber that Finn... Does Finn still have that lightsaber, and what color was it?
I want it to just be blue.
Okay.
Or... And I don't know how I feel about this, but it could be purple.
I was gonna say,
it could be purple.
Are we just gonna make the only two black Jedis have a purple lightsaber?
That's the thing that I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Because
that's honestly what I imagined. I imagined him pulling it, and it was purple, and he went down. I was like, some people might be
some people might get mad.
Some people might get mad, but I honestly imagined purple as well in my head. But blue, I think fits.
Blue fits better, and... I have another character I want to give a purple lightsaber to.
Oh, don't tell me.
But
don't tell
I'm
me.
not going to tell you.
Don't tell me.
I won't tell you. Because really, in canon, the only two people to have a purple lightsaber is Mace Windu and Darth Revan.
Yes.
And it's a very specific case where someone can get a red or a purple lightsaber, and I want to keep it that way. And I have a very particular character I would like to give it to, and you'll just have to wait and see.
I would love to
for
have
episode
one
8.
Jedi and one Sith. Each have one, and they fight at the end. That would be a cool fight. I would love that.
Really cool fight.
But that would be confusing. No, what would it? It doesn't matter because people are like, "Well, we don't know who's who." You know, yeah, you do.
You know
darn
you know
well who's
exactly
who.
who's
You know,
who.
if you are watching a movie and they each have 2 swords, doesn't matter. I can't tell who it is because of their sword. No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's fine.
I mean, in episode 3, both Anakin and Obi-Wan have blue lightsabers.
I've only seen that movie once.
Oh,
I know.
buddy.
I know.
You've got to watch it again.
No, man, it's hard.
It's a good movie.
It's
hard.
hard to watch.
It's hard to watch.
It
but it's
really
good.
messed me up. I don't think I've ever cried in the theater that much in my life. And I've seen some gut-wrenching movies, but that movie messed me up. And I was like, how did they allow little kids to go see this?
It's a dark. I mean, it's PG-13.
It was.
Like, it's a dark movie.
It was dark. And there's only one scene. We don't need to talk about it, but there's just one scene. You can all take a wild guess of what scene that is. That really makes it hard for me to watch that movie. So.
Skywalker.
Oh no! I told you.
What are
I
we
told
going
you
to
to do
do?
that. All right. Well, that is Tim's episode 7, part 2. That was. Said it again. I loved it. I'm happy. Are you happy?
I'm pretty happy. After several hours and hours of rewriting it and trying to perfect it, I think we did. I think we got it. I think it was good. I like it.
I really like it.
I'm happy with it. I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too. That was really good. And I'm sorry for if I've stepped on any toes. I just wanted to say what there was only those 2 scenes where I was like, I really can't get this image out of my head.
Your pitch for those 2 scenes was perfect, and I would not have it any other way.
Okay, that makes me happy. Hear me out, pitch.
Yep.
Oh, it's almost like I have to point of my show. Oh!
Yep.
Well, next time I think I really think it's gonna be I don't know. Maybe it might be Morbid Time. Maybe a few others. We will someday have a schedule, everyone. I keep wanting to talk about this, but for now, we're just kind of going as is. But anything else, Tim?
No, I think that's it.
Well, with that being said, thank you all again for listening, and we will see you later, pitches. Bye.